Much. The U.S. leading an international coalition to defeat ISIS in Syria. The president authorizing the strikes without congressional approval. Now, he can do that, but typically the president would call for an authorization vote, sell the plan to the American people, and then send a resolution to Capitol Hill. Joining me this morning with his thoughts is Congressman Brad Wenstrup. Brad, thank you very much for joining us.
Sure.
What do you think he needs to get approval by Congress? Why?
I think that at this time he has the authority, actually, through the 2001 agreement where he was able to go out and attack al-Qaeda and its associates. And clearly ISIL is associated with al-Qaeda. But I think after the Bergdahl incident, there's even more cry for Congress to be involved, not only from Congress, but from the American people. And I think we need to continue to have oversight.
Correct. Don't you think we would all benefit if there's debate in Congress about how we're going to attack ISIS and what we're going to use to attack ISIS?
I think we're all better served in those situations when everybody weighs in.
Okay, let's talk about those airstrikes. How do you think they're working?
Well, I think they're doing what they're supposed to do to a degree, but there's a limitation to that. What we're starting to see is the enemy is shifting away from their tactics. They're not in mass anymore because that left them very vulnerable. So they're spreading out. They're a wise enemy, so we've got to have a ground game. Yeah,
they're a wise enemy. They are well funded. They know how to work propaganda and recruit foreign fighters. When you talk about ISIS and ground troops, do you think they should be U.S. ground troops? Do you think they should be a coalition of ground troops? And what about the American people who are nervous about putting boots on the ground again?
Well, I think we always have to have a good, strong ground troop component, no matter who it's made up of. A larger coalition is always better, but we've got to have a good command and control. And that's where we're really lacking right now. Who is really directing the Iraqi army, the Kurds, and what are we going to do if we get them pushed into Syria? Are we really strong enough there?
Okay, John McCain, a war veteran. You are a war veteran. John McCain saying that it's dumb to tell the enemy what we're not going to do. What is your feelings on that?
I haven't found one military person that thinks that's a smart thing to do. It is never smart to tell an enemy what you're not going to do.
You were in Iraq. There, the enemy was well defined. When you talk about ISIS, they're not defined by borders. They're not really defined by people. It's just kind of an ideology. How much harder is that to fight?
Well, it's always harder if you don't have uniform services, which is what we faced in the war on terror to begin with. But the difference between a typical counterterrorism method, these people have wealth and they have territory. They are, in essence, a state, not a recognized state, but a state.
Do you think President Obama was on 60 Minutes over the weekend saying that we underestimated ISIS? Do you think that's the case? And why do you think that was the case?
I don't think it was really the case. Maybe the president underestimated ISIS, but intelligence community is aware of them for quite some time. This is a time where we need to take responsibility for our actions, our leadership, and to lead.
When we started those airstrikes, 5 Arab countries were striking ISIS with us. How important is that, and how is that different than when we went into Iraq?
I think that's a strong statement, actually, for the region, and it shows that this is not only a threat to the Western world, but to the entire world.
John Boehner, the Speaker, has said that we have no choice. These are barbarians. They intend to kill us. If we don't destroy them first, we are going to pay the price. Do you think that's too strong of a words? Do you feel the same way as the Speaker, and why?
Well, I do feel the same way as the Speaker. I've seen this enemy, and this is an even greater enemy than we faced in Iraq as far as being barbaric, and they will stop at nothing.
Because the thing is they send a clear message when they behead someone from France, after France says that they would help us. They have also beheaded someone from Great Britain. They're holding someone from Great Britain. In terms of the message that sends, how do you fight that?
It's very difficult to fight because life is not important to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're busy, but thank you very much for taking time out. Do you think it's going to happen where Congress is going to vote in terms of formally approving the airstrikes on ISIS in Syria?
I don't think it should happen during the lame duck session. I hope that it goes into the next terms, if you will, when we actually have the people that are going to be in office for a while.
All right. Thank you very much, Congressman Brad Wenstrup. Always stopping by. We appreciate it, man. We know you're busy.